Hello, and welcome to the level guide for R5B4. Let's get started by talking about loadouts. For this level, you're going to be doing a lot of shooting, 30 minutes straight of it to be exact, so you want to bring weapons that you are very comfortable using. Although things like the revolver, hellgun, and machine gun are very strong for this level. For tools, you're going to want to bring a bio-tracker, a mine deployer, a C-foam launcher, and an auto sentry. Doors on this level are very important because you're going to want to mine them to kill most of the enemy waves that spawn in, so make sure to save them whenever possible. Starting off in zone 178, you will see that your main objective is to survive the Warden protocol and then make your way to the extraction point located in zone 187. You have 2 minutes to prepare for the Warden protocol, and then after that it is going to continuously spawn waves of enemies for 30 minutes. Once these 30 minutes are up, you will be able to do your extraction and complete the level. Inside of zone 178, you will find your security door to zone 179, and you'll also be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. Because you're on a time constraint, if you see any storage boxes, open them, but you can just ignore the resources in this zone for the most part because you're not going to have time to grab them. Inside of zone 179, you'll be able to find 3 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. There's also going to be a fog turbine and 2 security doors on the opposite sides, one that leads to zone 180 and one that leads to zone 181. Both these security doors are going to be team scans, and behind each of them you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, 2 uses of tool refill kits, and a cell. Realistically, you're only going to need one of the cells, so I don't advise going into both zones unless you need more resources or if you need more doors. Doors are very important. During a lot of the waves during this level, when they spawn in, you're just going to hide behind a door, put a couple of blobs of C-foam on it and mine it, and just let the enemies break it down and all explode, and then continue looting and grabbing resources. Once your 2-minute prep time is up, it is going to start another 30-minute timer that will spawn a wave of enemies every single minute. The first 3 waves that spawn in aren't all that big, and you can safely hammer them even by yourself if you have to. I recommend trying to stick with a team for the most part, because the enemies will be able to spawn on top of other players if they are 2 rooms away from other teammates. There is a 3rd security door at the far north side of the room that you're going to want to bring the power cells and the fog turbine to. This security door is in lockdown until the timer ticks down to 20 minutes remaining. It'll then enter Protocol Phase 2, and you'll be able to continue on with the level. At just under 27 minutes, the power is going to turn off, so you will have to fight this next wave in the dark, but the power will turn back on after about 40 to 45 seconds. At just under 26 minutes, there is going to be a group of giants that spawn in along with the normal enemies. From here on, the waves will continue like normal, spawning every single minute until just under 21 minutes, where it is going to spawn another wave of big enemies. At 20 minutes, a few things are going to happen. Fog is going to start rising in the level, so you will have to get out of this zone, but your security door to zone 182 is also going to come off the lockdown. Thirdly, the enemy wave is going to be a lot bigger than normal this time, so I recommend that you hunker down somewhere and use a door to clear off most of the enemies. On your way back to the security door, as long as you keep jumping to keep your head above the fog, you shouldn't gain too high of infection levels. Once you get to the security door, do your team scan and head on into zone 182. Zone 182 is a lot like zone 179, but there are going to be a few key changes. From now on, enemies will be spawning in every 2 minutes, and the waves are going to be bigger and contain chargers. Because of this change to waves, the enemies will now be spawning at 18 minutes instead of 19 minutes. As long as everybody is standing in room B or in room C, the enemies will have to spawn in A or back in zone 179, meaning that they can only break down the door leading into B, so fully C-foam it and put a mine on it, and have everybody else just start looking for resources and clearing out room C if it's not already cleared. For resources, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, 2 uses of tool refill kits, and 6 uses of a disinfect pack. Also make sure that you are taxiing the cells all the way up to the generators, which will be located in the far back left of zone 182C. In room C, you'll find your security doors to zone 183 and 184. You don't want to go into zone 183 because, simply put, it just sucks. It's a bigger zone, so the resources are more spread out, and there are multiple entrances to many of the rooms, making it harder to C-foam and mine them. Again, you'll also find your security door in the far north that leads to zone 185, which is in lockdown until there are 10 minutes remaining on the timer. Finally, close the door to zone C and seafoam and mine it, and wait until the wave that spawns at 16 minutes has been killed and dealt with before you head on into the next zones. Zones 183 and 184 will have 12 uses of med packs, 10 uses of ammo kits, 6 uses of tool refill kits, and 4 uses of a disinfect pack. In zone 184, you want to go in and open all of the doors that you can. It goes all the way up to room D, so you have 3 doors to work with. You want to keep these doors open until you know where the wave is spawning from, then close mine and put some seafoam on it to make sure it kills all of the wave. At 11 minutes, it is going to spawn another wave of giants, so be prepared to deal with that. You're not going to have a lot of time to recuperate after you've killed them because they take forever to get into the room, and at 10 minutes it is going to spawn another massive wave, just like the one that spawned at 20 minutes. If you have any doors left, you should use them here because this is going to be a very, very large wave. Your security door to zone 185 is going to come off of lockdown, and again the fog is going to rise up through this zone, so you're going to need to leave. Once you finish clearing out the wave, open your security door to zone 185 and head on in. Much like before, your spawn rules are going to change. The enemies are now going to be spawning every 3 minutes, so your next wave is going to be spawning at 7 minutes instead of at 8. You need to save the door that leads into room E, because you're going to have to do a class 3 S1 alarm, and this is the only door that they will break down into the room. For resources, you'll be able to find 12 uses of medkits, 10 uses of ammo kits, 6 uses of tool refill kits, and a disinfect station. Once you've gotten your resources, head over to the security door to zone 186. Your floor plan for this alarm is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they will break down these 2 doors in order to get into your room. Another thing to note is that at around 6 minutes and 40 seconds, the lights are going to turn off again, and they will be off this time for a couple of minutes. But once you finish the alarm, you can head on into zone 186. For resources in there, you'll be able to find 6 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 4 uses of tool refill kits. The last part of this level is going to get pretty hectic. You have to deal with the wave that spawns at 4 minutes, then there's going to be another wave that spawns in at 3 minutes, and then at 1.5 minutes there's going to be another wave of giants that will spawn in. Once the timer hits 0, your lockdown door to zone 187 will come off of lockdown and automatically open, and behind it will be your extraction scan. This extraction scan will take about a minute to complete, and it will continue to spawn waves of enemies while you're doing this scan, so make sure to burn all of your seafoam, sentry ammo, and your mines here just to make sure you can finish the scan. But finish off the remaining enemies, and you will finally have beaten R5B4. Due to the nature of RNG, enemy and resource numbers may be off by plus or minus 1, but for the most part they should be what I show here. Outside of that, that's all I've got. Leave a comment if you think I missed something, and you guys have fun.